Hi, Adonis. How are you? What are your four benefits or effects? What is your subject? What is your essay that you're, I can't remember. Oh, violence against Asian Americans, right?
Yeah.
So what are you, what is your outline?
Right now I'm gonna have the cause being, what is it? Let's see where I have it. The cause of Donald Trump starting with the matters of like calling it Kung Flu and saying that it was the China virus.
Okay.
And then my effects, I have like the effects of what's been happening to the Asian community. The first one I have is the increase of targeting and the discrimination towards them. Then I have the Atlanta spall shooting where there was an Asian hate crime. And then I also have I didn't know, I couldn't find any other like credible sources or anything like that. So I went back to the New York Times with the 84-year-old Asian man that was tackled down and where he got attacked by the man, the one in
Well,
San Francisco.
okay. So it sounds like you have some wonderful examples.
Mhm.
I would like for you though to you're not really it sounds like you're saying that violence has occurred because of this Trump, because of Trump.
Yeah.
So violence is one thing,
Mhm.
okay? That's one effect, right?
Yeah.
These you have several examples of one effect so far.
Okay.
So if you want to say like discrimination is happening, right? That's like the overall thing. And then here are some ways that discrimination is happening. So you have violence um on the streets, but are there other areas like um Asians being denied healthcare or services of some kind, or um being denied entry into clubs or restaurants or something like that?
Yeah. Okay.
Or are they being like boycotted, like suddenly you know Asian Asian American businesses are being boycotted, if these things are happening, right?
Okay.
So in my email I suggested that everybody before coming to class today um, watch, research a TED Talk, look for a TED Talk or an academic lecture on your subject.
Okay.
And also, if you can, Google, do for a deeper search than you've done, because there are other resources out there. And so if
Yeah.
you're only coming up with New York Times articles, which are, that may be the case, but my guess is there are other ones out there
Okay.
and they just haven't been found yet, right? So you want to find, not it does, so does that make sense? So the
Mhm.
effects are beyond just one thing,
Yeah.
right? And so that's why I really wanted for everyone to have their effects with them today, and I'm going to talk to everyone individually because I want to make sure you're not confused about what an effect is, because an effect in this case is not an example of
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So did you if you didn't write all that down, Adonis, it would this lecture is being recorded, and
Yeah.
I'll share it with everyone for review. So okay, who's next? Cassidy, what is your subject and what are your effects?
My subject is the positive effects of being vegetarian.
Okay, and so what are your effects that you're going to discuss?
Um, the effects it has on the environment, the economy, a person's health, and weight loss.
Okay, so weight loss is probably not going to work because it'll be included under the health.
Under health, yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing is you could, if you wanted to, choose any one of those things and then find the effects of those things, like how does it affect the environment, or how does it affect?
Okay, so just one of them, and then use.
That's what I would do. Since it's a shorter paper, you can choose. Hey, I'm just going to say to everybody here, first of all, everyone, please, thanks for coming. And if you know someone in the class, I said this in an email, but I see there are some missing students. Can you please text them if you have their cell phone numbers from the peer review workshops? Because I noticed there are some missing students here and they perhaps didn't get the 2 emails or the announcement. So if you don't mind, if you have it, if it's convenient. But anyways, going back to your essay, Cassidy, and thanks everybody for doing that. Cassidy, so you could narrow it down to one of those things, like health benefits, and have 4 health benefits. So
okay, true.
That's what I would do. It's a shorter paper. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm not sure exactly which one I'm gonna want to choose out of the, environment or the economic effects or whatever, but I'll figure it out by the end of the day.
Okay, because we are, right, and that'll help with research also, from being able to hone in on that particular subject, those particular, what are the effects, and you can use the word benefits.
Yeah.
So Adonis,
I looked up, there was a bunch of TED Talks on my subject too, so I watched one. There's plenty more to watch, so I'm gonna watch them. So
great. Yeah, and I encourage everyone to do that. Your rough draft is due for a peer review workshop in class. We're going to meet in person on Wednesday. And I recommend like emailing yourself a copy of your essay so you can use it on your computer in class on Wednesday. So going back to you, Adonis, this is a cause and effect essay, and this is for everybody. This is a cause and effect essay. You guys might be talking about the benefits of something or something negative, the drawbacks, the disadvantages, the negative aspects, whatever. So you don't have to use the word effect. Maybe there's a word that's better for your essay. So what caused something, and then the benefit, right? So vegetarianism as a cause. And Cassidy, you could use the other things, your subjects, in your introduction. Like there are many reasons to argue in favor of a vegetarian diet. There's the environmental impact, the this, the that, but perhaps the most personal are the health benefits, right? See what I'm saying? And so how that word, like the health benefits, it just kind of flows better, and it says what you're emphasizing. So I'm just putting that out for all of you, that if you're talking about something positive, use the word that you would use for that to replace effect. Effect is generic, but effect does work. Okay, thank you, Cassidy and Adonis. Who's next? Who would like to talk about their 4 effects, or tell me about where they're at with their essay? Yusuf?
Yeah, I'm here.
So tell me about your essay.
I'm writing about the effects of 9/11 and ISIS. Um, like how did it create problems for Muslims, like these terrorist groups?
Mhm.
And some of the effects I chose were there was a loss in trust in Muslims, like their identity was questioned to see if they were like loyal to the United States,
Mhm.
and also forced nations to take actions on terrorism, war on terror. There were hate crimes committed on Muslims and Sikhs because of it, and I need one more.
Okay. Okay. It sounds like it's off to a good start, and yours has almost like it can be considered almost maybe like a chain effect, because you're like this altered the way the United States both viewed and treated Muslims and Sikhs after 9/11. And like, are they all effects that are separate from each other, or is there a chain of events sort of like because of that, then this, because of this effect happened. Then when that happened, it caused another thing, right?
Yeah.
So I that's what it could be sort of like as time went on, or maybe not. Like there's also like stereotypes in movies and TV shows. Um well, I do encourage you and everyone else, but you also to look for TED Talk lectures on the subject if you can.
Okay.
And do you feel comfortable with what you're working on?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, great. All right, thank you. Who's next?
I have a question.
Yes.
So the peer review, are we doing that in class on Wednesday?
Yes.
Okay.
We're gonna do it a little bit differently than we have done, and how I'll put you in pairs, and
Okay.
you'll help each other do a close reading in class. So it'll be so you'll need to have, so as I said before, everyone to email yourself a draft so you can access it when we get to class. Okay, Katya.
I'm doing the effects of being a farm worker, like body damage, depression, um, and the health, how their health is being affected, and that's what I have so far.
I feel like that's gonna be hard to research. And I mean I like the idea of it, but I feel like that'll be hard to, there are other topics that might be easier to find credible resources, unless you have done some research and found things
Yes, I found some things.
enough to write an essay.
I'm not sure.
Because health is a big topic, and then there are two examples of health, which are mental health and physical health, right? And so you said those are, so it's like the health, how health is affected as a farm worker. um I feel like there might be Uh, I feel like there are other topics that might be easier, but if you feel comfortable with it, and you're able to find, write an essay on it, I'll take a look at it on Wednesday and see your draft, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay. Sam?
So I did mine about the effects of the fast food industry.
Okay. So eating fast food or
Just how fast food affects the US, like not just people having or people eating it and getting health problems from diseases, but also the workers being mistreated and how it affects the environment with all the power plants that they have making all the
processed food?
processed food, and the plastics that they use to wrap the food up can actually like have chemicals in them that could harm your body, and how the animals are being mistreated as well, being like slaughtered in all those factories.
Like mass food production.
Yeah.
So what is your word for like effect? What would the word you're using for this? Like how the fast food industry blanks America?
I don't understand what you're trying to.
Like if you were going to use the word effect, right? Like
Mhm.
how fast food industry affects America.
Yeah.
So what is the word you would replace effect with?
Oh,
To say what it
cost.
is you're cost. Okay, I like that. I like that. Okay, I'm interested. Sounds great. Uh, okay, perfect. Who's next? Daisy.
I did the effects of children in human trafficking. So I did who and where might traffic children, the psychological abuse children experience, and how many children in California are being trafficked. I do need one more.
I honestly think this subject is too big for this little essay. And your topics aren't like, it just doesn't flow. I feel like it's a pile of rocks. Because the amount of people being trafficked in California would be an example of something,
Mm-hmm.
not an effect.
Okay.
And just to put like the effect, the mental abuse, the effect of mental, physical, spiritual abuse that these children go through, or these women, the victims, to put it into one paragraph, it it just seems, it's like a water glass compared to an ocean.
Mm-hmm.
I just want everyone to realize, like, you're only going to write one paragraph about each effect. And if anyone is at a loss, I mean, I want to suggest something like the benefits of yoga, doing yoga every day, or the benefits of going to the gym if that's your thing, or some people like sports, like the benefits of sports. I'd be more specific, but I just, just remember, you can write about anything you want to, just so long as it kind of fits it's not, I don't want you to go too big with this because it's a shorter essay. I'd rather you focus on getting the format down. If that makes sense. So, yeah, so, if you can think of something, a little bit less, I feel like it's pretty weighty. Or if you really want to stick with this subject, because it is a hot topic. I mean, just yesterday there were headlines. You guys might not know who Prince Andrew is. He's in the royal family. He's one of the older guys, but he's, and his name is wrapped up in the that Jeffrey Epstein thing we were talking about in class the other day. So, I mean, it is a hot topic, and if you really want to write about this, I'm not going to stop you. Let me put it that way. But I just want you to, get something that's manageable, that doesn't feel a little overwhelming. So.
Okay.
So we can talk, a little bit more about it, or you can try this on your own if you want to. I'm not going to stop you. If you can if you feel like you can manage it, I'll take a look at it on Wednesday in class and we'll go from there. Or if you decide to change your mind and go with something else, that's okay.
Okay, I'll probably change it.
Okay, and if you want me to help you, we can set up a different Zoom meeting.
Okay, thank you.
You bet. Julian, Jesse Diaz.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hi. What is your subject and what is the outline for your essay?
So mine's about gambling addiction
Okay.
and the causes.
What causes gambling addiction?
Yeah.
Okay, what you got? What are the causes?
So being desperate for money might influence you to go and gamble. And the influence of other people. They might tell you to keep on gambling because if you keep on losing, they'll just tell you to keep on gambling and maybe you'll win next time. And my other one is being introduced to gambling at a young age. That could be bad.
Have you researched this subject at all?
A little bit.
Because it sounds right now, just by what you're giving this conversation, it sounds a little bit thin. And I'm not opposed to gambling addiction being part of this assignment. That's fine if that's something you want to write about. But what, maybe not what causes it. Maybe the impact of gambling addiction. The impact, the negative impact, meaning the effects of it. What does, if gambling is is an issue, and you can include some of these things that you've brought up in your essay. However, because what I'm hearing really are the wheels that make it turn, right? I'm just not, I don't know. You could find, to me, it feels like more research needs to be done on it. And it wouldn't surprise me if you turned it around and turned it into the effects. Like how gambling addiction can affect a person, right? So loss of money and because that would include like being indebted to people, loss of friends and family. And you could find probably statistics on how many the divorce rate, or how it is in tandem with other addictions. It's usually, I'm just guessing, this is off the top of my head, but maybe it's in tandem with other addictions, like if you gamble, if you're a gambler, chances are you drink a lot, or chances are you smoke cigarettes, or whatever, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Or other crime related issues, like how many people turn to crime themselves from taking from close relatives or friends, family, to like actual stealing. Like the effects, meaning it could lead to other addictions. It leads to the loss of family, divorce rate, kids, jobs, friends, all that thing. So maybe bankruptcy, money related issues, obviously. But do the research, obviously, and see if you can find TED Talks on it. And if you change your mind and come up with something else, then that's fine. Just like I told Daisy, if you struggle with, if this is something that isn't quite gelling, and you decide, well, I'm just going to talk about the benefits of going to the gym, or I'm going to talk about the benefits of, whatever. Then just, we can set up a separate Zoom meeting if you decide to change your mind and want help with it before Wednesday.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, I'll take a look at your draft on Wednesday and go over with you.
All right.
All right. Thanks. Jamie. And then Gabe, I see you here too. Great. I saw you were in your car.
I did the effects of banning abortions.
Okay. In Texas?
Just in general, but I would think I was going to reduce it down to Texas. It was
I
easier.
think you could find a lot of articles on what's happening now, how the state is currently being affected, and like I'm sure there are predictions in other articles exploring how it will affect the future, and if this holds, if it doesn't change, that kind of thing, because it's definitely a hot topic. And I think narrowing it down to Texas with just some background on the national level, in the introduction, if you
Yeah.
wanted something like that. So do you have the effects of it? How so far?
I was gonna do like unsafe abortions and the danger of just that, and then pregnancy related deaths. And then I also had mental health issues, but I need another.
Well, there's a lot going on in Texas with this. So look into the laws, because it's not just a ban against abortion. That's the controversy. It's also that they're offering people $10,000 to turn people in that they know who are planning on having an abortion. So they're offering like spy money to have people arrested, and things like that. So it's changing imagine living in a world where your neighbor could get 10 grand knowing you are in a situation you're trying to get out of,
Mhm.
So it's pretty crazy. It's more than just a ban on abortion. It's beyond. So you could talk about the ban on what the outcomes, predictive outcomes for this current and new ban in Texas, because you could talk about look at how the specifics of the law, what they specify. And definitely you might not be able to find TED Talks on this because it's so new, but you could certainly find debates online, and like even just click on CNN or MSNBC or one of those channels where people are talking about these issues. Usually you'll have individuals in favor and against kind of talking about it, arguing about it, spelling it out, or you'll get one person on a tirade about it and they'll go through and spell out all the facts. So anyways, definitely turn your TV on and look at the news, look for current articles and the effects of talk about the effects of the specific Texas law or Texas ban, because it's more than just about abortions. I mean, this is about total control, you know, of women, you know, unfortunately. So, you know, this could go, and you could really pinpoint it, and it could be a very powerful essay.
Sounds good.
Great. Okay, and Gabe.
Let me unmute myself. Sorry. Hey, 1 second. I'm on Zoom. Sorry, I'm like at work at our shop. So I was doing climate change as the effect, and then, can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, sorry. I was gonna go with transportation as one of mine, deforestation, livestock farming, and then my fourth was gonna be burning coal and like refineries, kind of, which I didn't know if that went on the same thing as transportation since they use gas, or would that be okay? Like how refineries pollute?
Well, right. So, well, what I would do is definitely watch some TED Talks on what causes climate change, and you'll get your I feel like this has been talked about for so much and so often that you'll be able to actually get your answers like off watching a couple TED Talks. And I think you've narrowed it down sufficiently. I guess you can talk about like how the human race is, I mean, because that's what I'm hearing is like it's how the human expansion and evolvement or whatever you're or like something like that, I guess.
Oh, I just thought of one. It would be like overpopulation could be one, maybe, because I mean there's so many people coming in the world. I saw like something that we're already overpopulated and we're expected to grow even more. So could that be one? Or
Well, actually, I would make that kind of your part of your introduction, like due to human expansion and evolvement specific. I mean, look it up. Don't go on what I'm saying right now, right off
Yeah.
the top of my head. But like if this were my essay, I mean, I would say I would start with like look up facts, look for a hook, and say like how find out the rate of how humans are multiplying or populating, right? And then
yeah,
so it's like large, you know, it's like millions of people are born every day. I don't know, I'm just making it up. Look it up
Yeah.
and cite it. And then say and along with the population growth, you know, our conveniences it's the conveniences that are contributing to it, right? So it's like we have too many people, and then the us people consume too many things. And so starting with the Industrial Revolution at the turn of the century, that's when all the sort of industries began, right? The Reconstruction began the climate change, whether it was perceived or not. And what has caused it is the invention, you know, like you said, there's transportation, industrial, and the other things you mentioned. So, but I think watching some TED Talks and doing some more research, Gabe, will really help. And I'll read your essay on Wednesday in class and look at them. And if you need help, you know, but I'm available for sure if you want to have a separate Zoom meeting. But I feel like if you watch some TED Talks, you'll get information, you know, that you'll need.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of information, but then sometimes you get some non-credible sources on the internet. Like you look up climate change, and then you have some that are like drastically, or maybe not so. I don't know how to word this. Like not so credible just
Yeah, you
stating
have
stuff.
idiots saying it's not happening. So
Yeah,
so you could even kind of position this essay like yeah, everywhere you turn, there's a different opinion on whether climate change is real or not. You know, well, here it definitely is, and this is what's causing it, right? And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
your argument. That could be your argument. So with that in mind, I would like for you to look for a TED Talk on YouTube, or you know, look on YouTube, and then look at you if you're when you're at home tonight, Netflix, Amazon Prime, whatever you have, whatever, if you have those things, then just look up climate change and see what documentaries come up.
Okay. All right.
So, but yeah, all right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Well, we're almost out of time. If anyone would like to set up a separate Zoom meeting with me between now and before, you know, before Wednesday, before class, I'm happy to help. Otherwise, please, you know, like I said, email yourself a draft and you'll be, so that you're able to access it from the computer in our classroom. Room 8, what is it? 843, I think, is our new classroom. So we only have 4 minutes left. Are there any questions that anyone has before we close?
I have a question.
Sure.
Does it have to be TED Talk, or can it be
No,
like
not
any
if
other
you find
lecture?
something else. You know, you might find a debate between scholars on something, you know, somewhere else. That's totally fine. Gabe, for sure, you can find conversations on climate change that are credible all over the place. Just ignore the buffoons, right? Unless you have good quotes to argue against, you know, like, well, someone may say blah, blah, blah. You know, other scholars say otherwise, right?
Yeah, I could quote maybe some. There's some important figures that
Well, and
sometimes don't.
Greta Thunberg, right? Is
Yeah,
the
the
spokesperson
summit.
right now. So there's like you have so much great stuff to work with on this. I just hope you make the time and focus and get her done, right?
Yep.
Because there's tons of stuff there. So that's why I'm trying to encourage you guys to use multimedia. And if you know that something is uncredible, you can use that as a resource to argue against in your essay as well. If that makes sense. Any other questions that I can help with? Okay, everybody. Well, if you would like a one-on-one Zoom meeting, feel free to email me and we'll set something up. Otherwise, I'll see you in class. Oh, yep. Okay, great. Yeah, I'll see you all on Wednesday at 2 o'clock, room 843.